Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. 225. You guys jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Abby's with us in Lexington, Kentucky. Hi, Abby. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my husband and I are awaiting the arrival of our first baby any day now.
Congratulations!
Hey, thank you.
What is it?
It's a boy.
Awesome.
It's a boy. And we have wonderful and supportive families who are, wanting to help invest for this baby. And so they brought up the idea, someone mentioned to them that they are interested in purchasing a life insurance policy for the baby once they're born. And my husband and I don't particularly feel like that's the best idea, but we don't know how to articulate why, or even maybe what we would prefer instead. We do work with investment professionals for our investing that we do for retirement. And so I guess what would be the best option to suggest? Should we set up a 529? Should we set up a Roth? What would be easiest for them to just contribute to when they want to? What would you suggest?
There's nothing as stupid as a brand new grandparent. I know. I have lived it. I am that guy. We want to do. You wouldn't believe the crap I bought for babies on their first Christmas. Stuff they can't use till they're 16. I filled up the whole living room. My daughters were so disgusted with me.
They're like, you're keeping this at your house. I'm not taking this home.
Well, it doesn't even. Your kid can't drive it till he's 16, but you bought him too. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're sweet. They're sweet, but they're just being dumb. You're right.
How do you always explain the life insurance policy? It's to replace income, right?
Yeah,
if someone was to pass away, whoever's dependent on that person's income, this baby has no one dependent on him.
Well, and what's happened is some stupid life insurance agent got a hold of them and told them it was a way to invest for college. And let me tell you where they're going to college if they do it off a life insurance policy. They're not going to college. So it's just a horrible investment. They're sweet, but they're just doing it wrong. So we just need to guide them a little bit here and be and give them a lot of grace, because truthfully they're so excited their brains aren't working.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you go to your investment professional and you set up a 529 and you go, hey guys, any of you that are wanting to invest in their future, we would consider it an honor if you would contribute to the 529.
Yeah, for college.
And hint, the insurance is a stupid idea. If they go buy it anyway, it's just one of those things a stupid grandparent did where they wasted their money. But but you don't, just advice from the other side of the aisle here, because I'm on the other side of this, is you're probably not going to keep them from doing all the stupid things you want them to not do.
It's just first. I'm curious, Abby, did they ask you if you wanted that, or are they saying they're going to do that?
No, they had just mentioned that, we heard this was a good idea. We thought about doing it. We're going to talk to our insurance agent.
It's not a hill. It's not a hill worth dying on. I just say I would just do a drive-by on it at some point, and you don't have to do it immediately, but at some point go, hey, you guys mentioned that life insurance thing. We don't do investing in life insurance at our place. We do it in mutual funds, and so we've got a 529 set up, and if you'd put it in there, that would be the way we would prefer you do it. But if they do it anyway, don't get all mad about it. It's just them being stupid.
Yeah, that's what we figured. It's no skin off our teeth either way. But just if if there was a better way to suggest.
How would you suggest it from her side?
When they may
you've had to handle in-laws.
I have, and I think if you it's not so much no to this idea as it is, hey, we really like this idea. So focus on the yes, focus on the positive, keep it positive. But what I would find appealing, what I would think the grandparents would find appealing about the 529 is it's something so tangible you're investing in, their future, their college, their education, and just say, hey, like, we want to start investing early and saving for their college education, for his college education. If you want to do that, that'd be really cool that you could participate in investing in his future in that way. When he's 18, he's going to get to go to school because of this money. We start to paint this picture in the positive.
We'll be able to point back and go, Grandma and Grandpa were the ones who helped us fund this.
That's right.
They're going to college because of Grandma and Grandpa, and, they get the credit and stuff, or part of the credit, or however, all that kind of thing. So
I just keep it positive. Focus on what you do want them to do, not what you don't want them to do, and maybe they'll move in that direction.
Yeah, because here's what's going to happen.
So,
after there's 6 or 7 grandkids running around, they're going to get bored with all this.
The novelty wears off.
They're not going to be as big a problem because they're going to be their sugar's going to be dialed down a little by then. So, like, I'm a lot more chill with number 7 than I was with number 1, right? I mean, I had to have.
And will they?
Yeah, I was the problem Papa Dave with number 1. Sure. Bless his heart.
How do we rate him in? I told the team today, Dave, during one of our shoots, my dad, one of the ways that he shows love, he thinks the larger the present, physically larger, the more love. I'm like, Dad, I don't have any more room in my house. Get it out. Too much stuff.
Large plastic things with motors in them for boys. Yes.
I'm like, no more.
Yes,
no more.
You need 6 of those cars. If 1 is good, 6 is better. Yes. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, you do get. It's that way with kids. I mean, the first one went off to college, we cried, and the second one we cried for 10 minutes, and the third one we pointed to college and said, go that way. And so, it's just like,
Rachel talks about this. She's still scarred by it,
Yeah, she's scarred by it. She's got a lot of scars. But, so, yeah, it's choose your battles because they're not going to always be there.
Yep.
The battles aren't going to always be there. I mean,
Yep.
And so it's a bigger deal to you right now than it will be with the third kid. It's a bigger deal to them right now than it will be with the 7th grandkid.
Well, and
because the emotions you just kind of calm down a little bit.
Totally. And I think how you approach discussions totally are different if the decision doesn't directly affect you. Like if you're talking about something like they want to move next door to you because they want to take care of the kids every day, like that affects you. If they get a life insurance policy on the baby, that doesn't affect you in a real practical day-to-day way.
Yeah.
And so that changes how you approach it too.
Yeah, you can ignore the stupidity because it's doing no damage.
Yeah, it's not really affecting you.
Except their bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I think a good thing is just a way to redirect it. But I always think of my granny gave us savings bonds, which suck. I mean, a horrible rate of return, like 2% or something.
It's just what she wanted to do.
And she gave us a $50 or $100 savings bond for each kid every Christmas for college. I would instantly cash them out and put them in mutual funds because they suck.
Yeah.
But I always lied to her. I mean, no, I told her the truth, sort of. But I mean, she would say, "How's those savings bonds doing?" I said, "They're great, Granny.
They're getting great returns in my mutual fund."
I mean, because after I cashed them out and put them in a mutual fund, they are great. But so that was partially true. But yeah, I got rid of them as soon as I could. But she was doing a nice thing the wrong way, or the least efficient way.
Yeah.
And so, we just had to redirect because there was no talking to her about it. She was a savings bond generation. That was the thing. That was. Put all their money in the CDs and all the kids' money in savings bonds because we're children of the Depression. All that stuff. There you go. This is the Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Thank you for joining us, America. This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Sarah's in Pensacola. Hi, whoa, wait a minute. Let's hit the right button there. Sarah's in Pensacola. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. What's up?
So I just finished my first semester of grad school yesterday, and I was a resident assistant on campus, but my contract ends in about a week. So after that, I'm moving back home to continue school online. I have another job, but I make 5 or less hours a week, and it only pays $11 an hour. And I'd really like to set myself up in my career to be financially stable. So I'm wondering, should I hold off on baby step 4 to make sure I can pay for school?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then how can I make sure that I actually set myself up financially to go through this? Because I'm clearly not making enough money.
You need
get your income up.
Yeah, you obviously need to work more.
Yeah.
5 hours a week?
Yeah, it says it's supposed to be 10 to 15, but it's a remote position, and the work that I'm actually getting is not much. But I don't really know whether I should look for like an internship or go another route.
What are you doing now?
So I just received my bachelor's degree in communications last semester, and my program now is in strategic communication and leadership.
I mean, for work. What are you doing for work? That 5 hours?
For work, I currently work as a student assistant for the Center for Cybersecurity at my school.
Okay.
But I'm doing like community and public relations kind of work. So it is in my field, but it's not really exactly what I'm trying to do. I really want to like get a salary-based kind of job and make sure I can cash flow my college, basically.
Yeah. I mean, you need to get your income up, your hours up, and your pay up. And it doesn't matter if it's in the field of what you want to do. You just need the money right now to pay for school.
If you're doing it online, what would keep you from just going and getting a job that is in your field, as if you just graduated from college, because you did, and take that income and use that to pay for your online and work a full-time job?
You don't need an internship.
So do I need to focus on finding a job in my field first? Because I do have a bachelor's degree.
That'd be wonderful.
Okay.
That'd be great. But if you can't, then just get something.
No, I think I would. And I think I would, here's your A+, okay? A job that's 40 hours a week or more, and you do your online nights and weekends, and you finish up your master's or whatever it is you're working on, your grad work there. That way. Oh, and by the way, this new job not only is in your field, but they have a tuition reimbursement program, and they pay for it. Wow, I'm just getting a lot of home runs here. This is going to be awesome. But, yeah, you're still trying to act like a college student. I think you just go ahead and be the adult stuff.
Yeah, I'm only 19 in, grad school, so I'm kind of like still trying to save money and figure out.
So you blew through the 4 years real fast, huh?
I definitely did, yeah.
That's
but now
amazing.
I'm like, okay, what am I doing now?
She's like, I'm acting 19 because I am 19, Dave. Give me a minute.
What in the world? What do you? What is it you're wanting to do when you're 30? What do you want to be doing?
If I'm being completely honest, I started thinking about this a little bit more now that I started listening to your show, but I would love to be an author one day.
Okay. What do you want to do as a career path between now and then?
So I was looking into that, and some jobs that I was looking into applying for were actually content marketing specialists.
Yeah.
Not exactly communications, but I could
Oh, no, it is communications. All the journalism students are filling up my content room down here. I got tons of content folks on our team that are writing in our voices and helping us get stuff out of here because we're putting out so much product out of here every day. And content specialists, yes, you're totally qualified for that. Oh, and by the way, you're under 40, which means you can use a computer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely
that was
my
age
path,
discrimination, wasn't it?
I don't think she even saw it as a joke. She's like, well, of course I can, Dave.
Of course I can.
What a weird statement.
I have better keyboard skills with my thumbs than you do, Dave. But yeah, so yeah, that's what you, yes, go get a job as a content marketing specialist with a company that will pay for you to finish your master's. And that is a great springboard into becoming an author 10 years from today.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to make sure I'm still on the right path with that.
Yeah, because you're gonna write. You're gonna write. You know what writers should do? Writers should write.
Yeah, I started a blog, and I'm like, I kind of want to continue that too on the side.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good place to practice and do all kinds of stuff. But there's not much money in that probably right now. But yeah, I mean, you get a job as a content marketing specialist making $50K, and they have a tuition reimbursement benefit, and you're working 40 hours, and you're doing your online to finish up your grad work, and you're pumping out keyboard material all day long that is actually relevant in the marketplace. You're starting to learn how to do stuff. That's awesome.
And just flexing that muscle. It's amazing how on the other side of this, on the other side of your grad school graduation, your writing muscles will be so much stronger because you spent time writing, not just in the classroom, not just for homework, but in real world scenarios and on your blog. All of that's going to strengthen you as a writer.
And Sara, let me tell you what's underlying both of our answers on this. We're both looking at you going, you think your master's degree is your secret sauce. We are talking to an incredible rock star 19-year-old. We think you are the secret sauce. And I think you've been putting the weight on the wrong sauce. You is the answer, kid. Get it. Get it. You know how to do it. You went ahead and you're so goal freaking oriented, she got a 4-year degree at 19 years old. Get it. Get it.
I mean,
that's it, man.
It's until you asked her age, it was like you were saying, she's seeing herself as a grad student.
Yeah, she's seeing herself as a college
needs
student.
some money. And I'm like, no. You are a college graduate at 19, by the way, that has a degree, should go get a job, and oh, by the way, is taking grad school classes. That's the afterthought, not the money and work piece of it. And man, that's going to set you up so well.
Moms and dads, teach your kids that education is important, but is not the secret sauce, that the person in the mirror is their secret sauce. No one cares about your degree or where it came from. They care, can you do stuff out here in the real world? And you have to be able to look at me and articulately, as the potential employer, articulately describe that you can do crap. And when you can do that, I don't really care. Where you went to school. I don't care whatever you are. I don't care. Man, woman, black, white, pink, purple. I don't care what you are.
We have a lot of pink people that work here.
We do. We've got a few look like they fell in a tackle box, but it's good. They're beautiful, and they can do stuff, man, and that's all I care about.
I know.
I mean, we love them. It's all I care about. They're creative, and they get stuff done. And so that's what moms and dads, you teach your kids, take their little face in your hands. You're the secret sauce. And yes, you need to know stuff and get the degree, do the academic work, but then don't lean back and go, well, I've got a degree. And nobody gives a crap.
The other thing that Sara's going to learn when she starts writing is whether or not she wants to keep writing.
Yeah.
Because she may start writing and realize, I hate this. I don't want to do this. I want to do a different path with my skill set, with my degree. Dave, do you know my degree is in advertising? I'm not working in an advertising agency, but I use that education every day in what I do, teaching women through Business Boutique with marketing, even on our team, strategizing how we're going to market and advertise stuff. But it doesn't have to be this perfect linear path of using your degree exactly like you think you're going to. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, Sara, in these next few years through doing some stuff of what you want to do more of. And it's going to pull from your education, but maybe not exactly like you think it will.
Yeah. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we can't keep Christy from writing. It's impossible to stop her from writing. Keep her away from the keyboard. She's doing it again.
Dave, when can I write my next book? He's like, you haven't even released this book.
And would you please make it thinner? You got lots of words.
I do.
You got lots of words.
I do.
It's wonderful. And I'm in the middle of a writing project, and it's. I'm quite the opposite. I got lots of words, but they're not on paper. I have to put them on paper now.
Rachel says every time she writes a book, she says, I can't believe you like this.
Yeah, I feel like I have a term paper due. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy what books do, but putting them together. So there's a beautiful thing happening here, y'all, that there's something you take away from that last call, and that is that we do not want to say education is not important in America just because there's an epic student loan crisis and fools have gotten degrees in left-handed puppetry and feel entitled. That is not an education crisis. That is a wisdom crisis. And so wisdom says knowledge is important, but it is not the thing. It is part of the thing. The thing is you. You get up, leave the cave, kill something, drag it home. This is The Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Jason and Kesha are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey,
Great, Dave. Great.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
In Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee.
All right, just down the road. Well, welcome to Nashville. And here to do a debt-free scream, how much have you paid off?
$165,000.
Love
Awesome.
it. Woo! How long did this take?
26 months.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
We started with 109 and finished at 218.
Okay.
Had a few increases and bumps.
A little?
Sounds like it.
What in the world? Well, tell us the story. What happened 26 months ago, and what happened to this income to cause it to double?
November 2018, it was Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I always take off a couple of weeks for Thanksgiving. And I was wandering around the house. I said, we have too much debt. And where's the money going? So I came in and I said, hey, I know this guy that I was working for. He would always listen to you.
Mm.
I went in the garage, and this is no joke, turned on the AM dial, and there you were on 990 AM.
Wow. Yes, I was.
I told my wife, I said, we're going to do this. The wrong thing to say. What did you say?
I had an attitude. I mean, I was starting to make a lot more
Well, he's
money.
in the garage listening to
Right.
AM radio. I mean,
Exactly.
that'll give you an attitude right
Comes
there.
out of the garage with a declaration. You're not
Right.
there for it.
Exactly. So just the way, and we've been married 21 years now, and I always would tell him, it's your tone. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so I just didn't want to be told that day.
Amen. Amen.
So I wrote down everything on the budget, wrote it out for her, made it clear where we're going to start. This is how we're going to do it. I said, first, just listen to him. She said, I'm not listening to this old guy.
I did not call you old. I did not.
It would have been accurate. It's okay.
Hey, I said the same thing, Kesha. It's okay.
Careful.
So we started, and we knew our 20-year wedding renewal vow was coming up, and we wanted to pay for it cash because I told her we can't do it unless we're out of debt. So we paid off that time $80,000. I told her, I said, once it gets paid off, we can cash flow that. You can upgrade your ring, do all these things right here, but we have to pay this debt off. And believe it or not, I won a trip on my job for a cruise.
Ah.
We were in
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. She had an interview the first time for the promotion that she got.
Uh-huh.
It seemed like everything started falling in line once we got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, the more we start tithing, giving to God, more time with Him early in the morning, it seems like things just start opening up for us.
Wow.
And before we knew it, we were out of debt for our 20-year.
Wow.
Well, not totally.
Not
we still
totally.
have one.
We
We
still
have
have
one
one more.
big one, which I have it written down to the T. But you asked too just what happened. But I had been at one job for like over 10 years, and I hated it. I can say it now. I hated it. So I just wanted to go. I mean, I had been working, but I really think, like Jason said, everything fell in line when we started to line up our finances and
Prioritize.
So everything just fell in
It
place.
gives you a different level of confidence to face something like a job change.
It does. And so once that started, I mean, my interview was like on Valentine's Day in Jacksonville, and it changed our life.
Wow.
It did.
It
And
changed
so-
our life that day. And then after the wedding renewal and all that done, we had a student loan hanging around.
Let me tell you how much, Dave.
Yeah.
She grabs that paper.
It started at about 20,
When we first got married. it
about
was-
$23,000. I'm not a doctor. I know you ask all the time, who's a doctor, lawyer, whatever. I'm not neither. It started at about $23,000. By the time we paid it off in March of this year, it was $84,451.74.
And we paid that off in 11 months.
Wow. Ding, ding. So you just took all this new wonderful income and dumped it.
That's
Wow.
it.
Just acted like it wasn't there and threw it on that loan.
Yes.
No vacations.
And done.
Nothing.
We did.
Only vacation we got is if I win a trip
Yeah.
on the
Which
job.
is COVID, so he didn't win anything this year. But But I mean, I just can't believe it. I mean, even with the student loan, and we've used this as a lesson just to anyone. Our children will never have a student loan. I wouldn't advise anybody. So scholarships or cash.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's been a life changer.
20 years of marriage.
Yes.
21.
You ever been debt free before now?
Never.
When I was like 18.
Yeah, before marriage.
Before marriage.
Yeah.
Never.
Wow. Congratulations, you guys. I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank you.
You're rock stars, man. You're heroes. This is amazing.
Thank
So the kiddos were watching all this happen. Were they going, oh, we got no life because mom and dad have gone crazy and joined a cult, or were they learning?
They were learning. We made them participate.
Okay.
And what I mean by participate, I don't know if they showed you the pictures, but we got the bubble on the wall
Yeah.
that we would color in every time we send student loan their money. And
Yep.
I mean,
There it is.
just,
We got it on YouTube.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
It was just, and then we had another one that we paid every month. We just lined everything up so you could see it on a poster board.
Yeah. That
And-
helps. You need to see the traction, the progress.
Yeah.
Right, and it took a long time. I will say, once we got probably midway, it seemed like at first it was going really fast, and then about the middle, I'm like, oh my goodness, you know. I knew we were gonna do it, but it did. It got a little tiresome, and so we did take a mini little break for a moment just to get like new appliances. I'm like, we got to do something. I'm gonna lose my mind. So we took a little break, and we got right back on it. So.
Okay.
But I'm a car guy, Dave.
Uh-oh.
I'm a car guy,
Okay.
and that car got me in trouble.
Uh-oh.
But it saved us because I paid it off.
Okay.
And now that everything is paid off, you can enjoy it. It's nothing like going to the gas station, just filling it up and just saying.
They drive different when they're not dragging a payment book.
Right.
Oh man!
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
do.
We'll never do
never
car
do it
note
again.
What do you tell people the secret to getting out of debt is?
No secret. I would say be intentional. That's one of my favorite words. So you have to be intentional. You have to make just a definite decision. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. That's it.
And write it down.
And I'm a big writer too. So write the vision, make it plain. So write it, stick to it, and check your progress. Check in. So.
And
How does it feel now to keep your money? You get paid and you get to keep that.
Wonderful. Although we're about to start now tackling our mortgage. That's all we have left.
Okay.
And so, but it's still, it's spring not knowing you have $84,000 plus.
That's right.
Hanging over from
Well,
years ago.
165.
165.
Yeah.
Well, really, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that the student loan debt was, I guess, the biggest thorn in my side. I tried to tell him when we first got married. Well, he knew I had the debt, but he didn't think it was important. So I'm just telling
I said
him.
it'll go away, like everybody
its
said.
own.
Oh, it's gonna go away.
And
It's
I
just
did.
going to disappear.
I deferred, and hid from it, and and so I'm like, you just got to do this. And I think you said too before, Dave, you made the debt. The honest thing to do would be to pay it. So I can't defer it or get someone to take care of it, or
Not waiting on the government to do it.
Amen.
Right.
Amen. So the kiddos'
for
names
you.
and ages. Let's get them in the shot with you.
Come on.
What are their names and ages?
Joshua, he's 17, and Madison is 15 today.
All
Today.
right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right. Great birthday present. Very
All
cool. All right, Jason and Kesha, we got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That's your next steps into completely changing your family tree. You are well on your way. Well done.
Thank you.
And an extra copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give to someone else and pay it forward with that. So very, very well done. Jason and Kesha, Joshua and Madison, happy birthday, Madison. $165,000 paid off in 26 months, making 109 to 218. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Thank you, Jesus! I love it. Woo! That's how it's done right there, boys and girls. I love it. 165,000 rock stars, man. Those people are heroes. Well done. This is The Ramsey Show. you're tired of feeling stuck with your money, like you'll never get out of debt or you'll never save to the future, it sounds like you should go to the garage and turn on your AM radio.
Yeah. Find some inspiration there.
But you don't have to. You can make progress with your money, and faster than you think. The only way to make it happen is with a budget. And that's why you need a Ramsey Plus membership. You get access to the premium version of our Every Dollar budgeting app, which is world class. It'll help you plan out every dollar. That's why we called it that you spend and save before the month begins. You connect your budget to your bank, so it automatically enters your transactions, and you get custom budget reports. Of course, you've got access to Financial Peace University, the 9-week class that has changed millions of families' lives, and many, many, many other things. Coaches, community, tools, Ramsey Plus. You get a budget, you get intentional with your money. People are doing their debt-free screams. We always ask them how they did this, what the secret to getting out. They always say budget, 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 budget. If you want to do a free trial to Ramsey Plus, and check this out, it's a free trial. All you do is text trial to 33789. Trial to 33789. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from McKenna in Delaware. I'm currently working full-time while starting a small business selling fabric and notions for quilters and textile artists. I feel like I'm behind even though I only set my focus 2 months ago. How can I not be so impatient? Well, one of the things that I noticed in this question, Dave, is this is the first couple months of adjusting to this side business and getting started. And so you're getting used to a new schedule. You're trying to figure out, okay, what are the times that I can work on this side business and work on my goals? So there's going to be a grace period. You were just talking about the budget. Even when we start a budget, you're learning how to do the budget those first couple months. You're adjusting and figuring out. It's the same thing with your time when you've got a new schedule. So I'd say there's a little bit of grace in those early months for figuring out when you're going to work, when you work best, and making sure you actually have those hours set aside. But you also just need, in a really practical way, you need goals. You need to know what are your goals that are realistic for the time that you're able to allocate, and how are those goals reflected in writing, again, similar to the budget, and on your calendar and hours. And when you can see it on paper, it gives you a more of a sense of control and reduces some of that anxiety. But I will tell you, Dave, this sentiment of I'm behind, it is something I hear almost every day from women. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm behind. And there's a little bit of, hey, you're not behind. This is not a race in life. You are doing what's right for you in your season. You're not behind unless you're literally behind. Just this sentiment of feeling like you're behind, that's something that you can set straight with yourself, that you're not behind. You're in control of your business and your time and your schedule, and you're not behind.
When you set your goals, they'll help you do that.
Yeah.
They'll help you do away with that sense of being behind, because you either are on track or you are behind. It's not a feeling.
Right.
It's an objective,
this, like,
measurable thing. And so, and just to help you with business, especially when you're starting a new business, or around here when we're launching a new business within our business, a new product or a new idea or something, there's no way to know if you're behind except you guessed and you set a goal.
Right.
Now, the closer your near-term goals should be very accurate, and that means that they should stretch you but not be unrealistic. You don't want them to be sandbagging, like, oh, I can get that. No, I don't even. I can sleep in and get that goal. No, You got to get up and get it done.
Right.
So it's not sandbagging, but on the other end, it's not pie in the sky on the near term. The further out the goal is, the more in the fog it is, the more it's okay for it to be a little weird and a little large.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Collins calls those BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. And when I look out way in the future on Ramsey, what are our goals? Those are like almost vision kind of things.
They're fuzzy.
Versus budget numbers that somebody, by God, better hit.
Right.
You know, which is like in this quarter.
Right. Immediate. Yeah.
Or by August or whatever, you know. And so, you know, if we're launching a new book of Christy Wright's, which we are in the fall, Oh, I'm not supposed to tell that yet, but I just did. Anyway. But yeah, I guess I just launched it. But
that's great.
There's nowhere you can buy it yet, so it's okay. But I mean, we're sitting in the meeting, and I'm saying, okay, how many of those are you thinking? What are our projections? And I'm going to call our guys on that. I mean, that's a goal that should be precise.
Right.
And then you can tell if you're behind.
Right.
Once we launch it, we go, okay, we were supposed to sell this many by this date, and you haven't, or you have.
Right.
We're ahead of goal or behind goal, so we're either ahead or behind. You're just very seldom exactly on it, so you're one or the other then. But if I said, okay, what is the vision in 2030 for Christy Wright? That's a more abstract painting rather than precise.
Well, and it goes back to what you teach on goals, Dave, where you talk about the importance of a goal being specific, measurable, and having a time limit, because so many people think they have a goal and it doesn't have those qualities. It's not a goal, and they feel behind because their goal is this, I want to lose weight, and they always feel behind because they never made it specific or measurable to be able to measure it against, like you're saying, of knowing, are we on track or not? So making sure your goals.
How much do you want to lose in what period of time?
Right.
And it's very specific. It's very measurable. Is it your goal or is it your mama's goal? All that kind of stuff. And so you go, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds. Well, great. How many times? Yeah. And so, are you going to do that in 30 days or are you going to do that in 3 years? And it changes the situation, right? And so you need a time limit on it so you can do the math on it and lay it down on the near-term goals. And it transfers a feeling of, I'm behind. Okay, then if you're behind and it's a new project like hers, then you have to assess, okay, was my goal unrealistic? Was it a little pie in the sky? Because it was brand new. We were guessing.
Right.
It's a guess.
Right.
You can call it a forecast. You can make up all these words for it. It's a guess. You don't know. Unless you've done something very similar to parlay onto it, to do as an overlay to figure out the math, you are guessing.
Right.
Never sold a book in your life. How many books are you going to sell? Oh.
Yeah.
There's no way of knowing.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
And so, but I mean, the last 3 books we've done around here with Ramsey personalities, and okay, Christy's fits in that genre, and it looks like Rachel's in this regard, it looks like Anthony's in that regard. We can use that as forecasting technique and figure out, we think we can sell that many books.
Right.
And then we'll either hit that or we'll do better, or we'll do worse. One of the two. I mean, but very, very precise, and you give yourself a little latitude of going, okay, it's brand new, I've never just started this business. If I didn't hit the goal, do I have to freak out and go, oh, well, I didn't hit my goal, I guess I got to quit? No. I mean, the goals I set early in this business, I hit none of them. But they took me down the road towards where I was supposed to go.
You got a lot further than you would have had you not had the goal.
Had I not had them written down.
Right.
And I didn't have that sense of being behind, even though I really wasn't behind.
Yeah.
Aaron is with us in Colorado Springs. Hi, Aaron. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks for having me on here.
Sure. What's up?
I probably have a good situation, but I'm kind of really afraid of inflation. And I've gotten to where I'm at by just, kind of like you said, set a budget. 6 years ago, I had no money. My wife and I worked our butts off. We paid everything off but our house.
Good.
And we have about $1 million sitting. 250 is invested in certain things, but 750 is just in cash.
Okay.
And I don't want to be left behind, but I think this whole market is kind of propped up with a toothpick, and I think it's going to come down at some point. So I'm really trying to figure out what's my next step, and I don't really trust financial advisors, much of them. So I just kind of want to see what your thought process is and where you're at on maybe helping us with a good scenario.
Okay. Well, the thing you have to have is you're right to not trust someone to take over your life and run it for you. It's your job. You have $1 million. It's your job to manage $1 million. Way to go, by the way. And so what I do use financial advisors for is not to tell me what to do, but to teach me and to give me information I didn't have before. You need to know some things about the market that you don't know right now. Because you think you know some things that are causing you to make these assumptions the market's propped up with a toothpick. And it sounds like you've been reading too much on the internet to me. So you probably need to learn some things about historical rhythms to the stock market. They're fairly easy to understand. But you need someone that's in that world that very calmly teaches you, and then you can decide, based on that knowledge, how you want to invest. But yeah, you need somebody in your corner that's not telling you what to do, not doing it for you, but that's teaching you. This is The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Thank you for being with us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Rachel's with us in Miami, Florida. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I'm so happy to be on here. I've been listening to you guys for a while. So I have a car that's worth about $2,000, but I owe $2,900 on it, and I'm not sure whether to repair it or sell it and then get a new one. Couple caveats: it is under my mom's name, and other than that, the car is running, but there's no AC, and I'm in Miami, and it's pretty hot, and all the quotes to fix the AC, et cetera, are running about to $1,000.
What kind of car is it?
It's a Mazda CX-7. It's like a mini SUV.
What's your income?
So right now, my income is about $2,000 a month, but I have about $12,000 in savings. But I am interviewing for a management consulting company, so I'm interviewing right now for a job that will give me about $160,000. But again, I'm interviewing.
It's a big jump.
That's a little change.
Well, yeah. I'm normally a freelancer, so I decided I'm a freelance consultant. So I was like, you know what, let me just go for actually working for a consulting company like McKinsey or Boston Consulting Group.
Okay. Wow. All right. I sure hope you pull that off. That'll be amazing. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Excellent. Okay. Well, go back to your original question on the car itself. The formula on a car, regardless of what's owed on it, do I fix the car? You ask yourself, what can I sell the car for today, and what can I sell it for if I fixed it? If the difference is not equal to the repair, you sell it now without fixing it. So let me give you an example. Okay, you said the car is worth $2,000. If you spend $1,000 on it, does it make it worth $3,000? No, it probably doesn't.
No, not according to CarMax, which I talked to them and they were like...
Well, CarMax is not selling. CarMax is buying the car from you at wholesale.
Yes.
They're buying it from you where they can resell it and make a profit. A car like you've got should be sold to an individual and you can make more on it. So you need to go to kellybluebook.com, KBB.com, and look and see what this car is worth on a private sale. So you put it on Craigslist and you sell it to somebody. Okay? And let's use those numbers. Now, you do have $1,000 worth of repairs to do to it. I do not think that the $1,000 worth of repairs is going to make the car worth $1,000 more on a $2,000 or a $3,000 car. I don't think that's going to happen. So you're probably going to sell it as is, and you're going to have to write a check in order to do that. If you sold it for $2,000 and you owe $2,900, you have to write a check for the $900 difference, right?
Yes.
And then you got to write a check and buy a car.
Yes, which I'm definitely afraid of because I do only have $12,000 and I haven't landed the new job, and I just want to make sure that I don't put myself in a weird situation.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. I would spend no more than $4,000 or $5,000 on a car in this situation. And then if you start making $160,000 in a year, take that $5,000 car and buy you a $15,000 car. But you save up and pay cash for it either way.
Okay.
So if you sell this car and you write $5,000 out, and you go buy another little used car of some kind. So you should probably, if you're going to do that, two things I think of is, one, find a good local independent mechanic that will charge you a small fee for inspecting the car and looking it over for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, do you have, if you're in a church, do you have some older guys in the church that might help you in this purchase? Or do you have an uncle or a dad or something that might help you in the purchase? It is not that you're not capable, but sometimes people around the car business might treat a 33-year-old lady differently than they would a crusty old dude.
Well, and if it's your first time doing it.
My dad. It is, because would be the first car under my name. It's either been a company or my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would your dad go with you and look at it with you and give you advice, and also kind of back the doobs off on the car lot to where you actually get a good deal?
Yeah, I could go with my dad or my boyfriend.
Yeah, either one.
Probably my boyfriend.
Either one's fine. And I'm not being sexist, but I'm telling you that people in that business might be. I think you're perfectly capable of doing it. I just don't want you to get mistreated, and I want you to get the best possible deal. And so I'm going to use every technique in the book.
Well, and if you've never done it before, Rachel, like you're saying, then you wouldn't even know if you were being taken advantage of or not. If I, bought a car when I was 22 or 23 or something, when it was my first time, I didn't know the first time. I had to ask everybody, do research, bring people with me. By this point, I've bought and sold several cars, so I'm confident going into that type of environment, and I know what to ask, and I know when someone's trying to, be shady. But if it's your first time, you wouldn't know how to do that. And so, just having all the help in your corner is a great idea.
Yeah. Good stuff. Tom is with us in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Okay, we're brand new to you. We're in baby step 2. May was our first every dollar budget.
Wow, good for you.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
He's like, I don't know, is it?
It's a wild ride, brother.
Yeah. So my question is, I got something that doesn't plug in real well. I got some loans on my tax-deferred profit-sharing account. The account's worth about $400,000 in company stock. Well, I just moved it and diversified it, thanks to you. But it should be $450,000. But I took these loans out. I'm paying myself 5% interest.
Yeah, they always do.
And I'm taking it. It's taken out of my paycheck.
Sure. Biweekly.
Do I treat that as debt?
Yes, it is debt.
Put in line and paid down?
Yep. Put it in your debt snowball.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, wherever it goes. The thing is, when you get to it, you will not be able to pay extra on it every month. You'll have to just save up and pay it off in one lump. You'll have to, because they won't take extra payments.
I think they do.
Really?
Yeah, the program that I've seen. But my other option, just to make sure, because of COVID, I might be able to put those payments on hold for 6 months.
No, we want to get rid of the debt.
So you treat it as debt and just put it in line?
It is debt.
Right.
Yes. Treat it as debt. It is debt.
Because it is debt.
And get rid of it. Because I want you to have your $400,000 without anything leaning against it. So, yeah, definitely. You'll make more money on your money than you're paying you on your money when you don't have this lien against it. So it's a much better deal. This is The Ramsey Show. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. Our famous $10 sale is here. Now you can learn how to make faster and real progress with your money and other areas of your life when you check out our famous $10 sale. Save up to 60% on 40 best-selling books, including Christie's book, the Business Boutique #1 bestseller, including the Total Money Makeover, which is a #1 bestseller. Been on the bestseller list for over 1,000 weeks now.
Wow.
That's amazing. Plus, these make great gifts. Shop our $10 sale at the online store at RamseySolutions.com. That's not all. We got a gift for you as well. You can enter to win our Ramsey Cash giveaway. We're giving away $500 cash every week and a grand prize of $5,000 cash. Enter daily for extra chances to win. No purchases necessary. Of course, you got to be 18 or older. Text CASH to 33789. CASH to 33789. RamseySolutions.com/store will get you in for those $10 sales on those books. You do not want to miss out on this sale. It is, I mean, you can buy a case of books for like $100. I mean, it's a deal. And you can mix and match. You get Rachel's and Christie's and mine, and all the different books are in there, man. AO's books, everybody's there. They're all there. So jump in here. We'll talk to you. 888-825-5225. Jessica is in San Francisco. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave, for taking my call. It's an honor to speak with you.
You too.
I'm on baby step 6, and I'm about to inherit about $338,000. I have a loan balance of about $338, coincidentally, with an interest rate of 2.75%. My principal and interest every month is about $1,400, and so I'm considering using the inheritance to either build an accessory dwelling unit or an in-law unit to get rental income as opposed to paying off the mortgage balance. And I just wanted your thoughts on that.
Well, for 30 years, we've taught people the shortest distance between where you are and wealth is to invest steadily in your 401ks and Roth IRAs and stay out of debt and get out of debt. And the millionaire study that we did with 10,000 millionaires confirmed that theory, that hypothesis, in that we found the typical millionaire has a paid-for home and $1 million plus in their mutual funds and their retirement. That's the typical thing. I mean, they didn't make money. They didn't make money by doing an in-law apartment. They paid off their house. So what would I do if I were in your shoes? I would pay off my house.
The home is worth about $1.2 million.
Great.
And when my dad passes, which hopefully he doesn't anytime soon, I will probably inherit upwards of $2 million. So I'm in,
wonderful.
A wonderful position here. Being in the San Francisco Bay Area, obviously, if I could build a shed in the backyard and rent it out for more than $1,400 a month. So
you can do whatever you want to do, honey. Okay? If I woke up in your shoes, I would pay off your house. And then I would use my increased cash flow in your income to save up and do whatever additions you want to do. And then when you inherit the other money, I'm going to buy real estate that I pay cash for and or invest it in mutual funds. I think you're I don't want you making a dumb decision based on what you may receive in the future as an inheritance. That doesn't change the answer. And staying in debt on your home, I mean, you're going to be free. You'll be 100% free. You do not understand how that's going to feel when you do that. And let me tell you, if you pay off this house and you hate being debt free, you can go get your mortgage if you want.
And the other thing is it's not that we're saying not to do it. It's just the order in which you do things. I think people miss that. When sometimes I feel like when you say, do this first, then do this, all they hear is no. It's not no. It's just not right now. It's right now you're going to pay off your debt and then save up, pay cash, and do that shed mother-in-law deal you want to do and for extra income if you want to. Yeah. It's just the order in which you do it.
Yeah, and by the way, you got $100,000 left over. I mean, what kind of shed are you building here? So, how much you spend on this mother-in-law apartment. And be careful that you don't spend money on an improvement on a property that is not going to increase the value by what you spend. And some mother-in-law projects don't increase the value by what you spend. Matter of fact, sometimes they just mess up the house and make it where it's not marketable, because a lot of people don't want a house with a big mother-in-law thing attached to the side of it. Some do, but the typical family doesn't want that. Yeah. And so you could actually harm the marketability of the house if you're not careful in this process. So be very thoughtful. Get some real estate people to look at the idea with you and make sure you're not turning your property into a white elephant, we call it, meaning something very hard to get rid of.
Well, and even just think about the implications of what you're suggesting to do, because aside from the financial, which we're talking about, you're talking about essentially building this mother-in-law apartment to be able to rent it, to create the income, to pay for the debt, when you could just pay the debt right now and avoid the headache of having a renter. And so it's like, this is a much quicker path to where you want to be, which is debt-free and not having the headache. And then, like you said, in the future, if you just want to do it for fun, to have that extra income, fine. But right now, it's almost like you're suggesting it as a means to pay off this debt, and you don't need to.
Jonah is with us in Pittsburgh. Hey, Jonah, what's up?
Hi, Dave. It's Jonah. Sorry, I'm nervous. So I'm calling because my husband and I have about over $270,000 worth of debt in student loans and a bunch of stuff, and we paid about $100,000 of that.
Good Lord. For what?
I'm a nurse practitioner, and my husband had a couple of things he wanted to do. But
I'm having trouble hearing you. Your voice is all over the place. Can you speak directly into your phone, please?
Yes, I said I'm a nurse practitioner, and my husband's a social worker.
And you have $270,000 in student loan debt?
I mean, a bunch of other, like, there was a $30,000-$40,000 worth of, like, credit card and consumer debt, too, but most of it was all student loans.
Okay.
So my question was, about $20,000 or so is about a Parent Plus loan that it's under my mom's name, and I wanted to know, in terms of, like, baby step 2, is that, like, in our, like, snowball, or is it something we should do later? Because, I mean, we plan on paying it, but I didn't know if we should just, go through the steps first and then come back to it at some point, or just slowly pay it.
So you have taken emotional and moral ownership of this debt, even though it's legally not yours.
Correct. Yes. My family's never been great with debt and money, so.
Yeah, you're great with debt. That's for sure. You got a bunch of it.
Yeah, I hate it. I'm trying to get rid of it. We've been doing this since 2019 now.
Okay, so cool. You're just going to put this in your debt snowball because you're going to pay off the Parent Plus loan.
Okay, that's good to know.
You're treating it like it's your debt, right?
Yes, I'm treating it like well, the problem is that my sister took out Parent Plus loans too, so they all kind of like meshed together. So I'm not really sure like which one's mine and which one's hers. She has way more than I do.
You need to get a real sure accounting so you know when you're done.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if it's not a certain loan, you just come to agreement with your parents that I'm paying $20,422, and after that I'm done, or whatever the number is.
Okay, that's good. I've always just wondered this question.
Yeah, because this is a never-ending thread you're going to pull on this sweater otherwise.
Yes, and I want it gone forever.
Amen. Yeah, $270,000. Can't breathe. It's just so normal now.
It is, and just the amount of time and income you have to dedicate to paying backwards. It's just such an uphill climb.
Yeah, we just finished the Ramsey research team just finished a survey, a study done, and they found that 44% of the people with debt are losing sleep at night.
Oh, I believe that.
Because of debt.
I believe it.
I'm like, that means the other 65% are sleeping good.
They are
55% are sleeping good.
They are feeling good about their situation.
I don't understand. Like,
neither are good.
78% are worried about it. What's the other 22% doing? I don't understand. I always wonder about these statistics that we come up with around here. Of course they're losing sleep. I remember being that scared. I couldn't breathe. Wow. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. You can join her on the Christy Wright podcast. You can join her on her Instagram, which you should do because she's pretty busy on Instagram. She's like an addicting poster. You and Anthony, AO and Christy, have the most posts going of anybody around here for sure.
Well, that's what our social team tells us works.
Yeah.
They say frequency is good, so we're trying.
Well, yours is actually good. Anthony's I'm kind of sick of, but
You can give him a hard time about that.
I'm kidding. Not much. But anyway, it's everything in the world. But and one of the things you've done is you've taken your devotional and have led people through it, the 40 days to get back to you.
That's right.
And best-selling devotional book, a 40-day devotional, and you've gone through it several different times on Instagram, right?
Yeah, and we're in the middle of it right now on the 40 days following Easter, when in the Bible Jesus appeared to people on the earth, and the 40 days following the resurrection. So just once a week I go live and read the day, the excerpt from that day in the scripture, and it's been fun. So at Christy B. Wright if you want to follow along.
Absolutely. Jump in there. Carol is with us in Joplin, Missouri. Hey, Carol, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I was calling to get some of your advice. My husband and I had purchased some property last summer with the intent of building on it. And as you know, I'm pretty sure this is how it is everywhere, but the costs have went up. And we recently found out that we have the opportunity to make some money on it. We purchased the property for $50,000, and we could make at least $25,000, if not more. So my question is, would you recommend that we sell the property and make money on it, or wait for prices to go down, or just to go ahead and build? Do you have any opinion on that?
Why are you leaving the property you're in?
Well, we currently rent. So when we found the property, it was a rare find. It's a couple acres in town for where we live. It's not something that we usually come across.
Mm-hmm.
So we purchased it because it was a good opportunity.
What's your household income?
$95,000 a year.
What price range home are you thinking of building on this property?
The property and the house would probably end up costing altogether about $240. Say $240 max.
Okay. All right.
With everything we'd have in it.
Yes, building materials have gone through the roof, and yes, in a lot of areas there's a shortage of subs and labor and builders to do the work because there's a building boom, and there's a shortage of everything because the factories weren't making it during COVID, and now the shortage is causing the prices to go up. For instance, lumber has gone up dramatically. Regardless of what area of the country you're in. And labor in a lot of areas has gone up because there's a shortage of labor because the real estate's just white hot in a lot of areas. So all of that is true. And so what you've got to do is you have to figure out, if you build now, can you put together a manageable situation? A manageable situation is, can you somehow lock in some prices with a builder that you trust and that has the financial wherewithal to ride this out and go ahead and build it. A builder that is financially set and has enough profit margin built in to absorb some of these increases can pull off building for you right now. And you may be able to find one of those, and that's fine. It sounds like your first house.
It's actually not. We sold our house about 4 years ago to pay off debt. So the only debt that we own right now would be on the property that we just recently purchased. So We've been renting for about 4 years.
Okay.
And saving up and going through the baby steps. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. So that's one thing you could do, is to find a builder then that had the margin to, give you a locked-in price. And that's going to mean you're paying a pretty good profit to that builder, obviously. And that's nothing wrong with that. That's just, what you're getting into. Second thing is you can wait and just sit there and rent a while, and let this thing calm down a little bit and then build. And basically what you would have spent in increased lumber packages, you might spend on rent. So I'm not sure you're gaining a lot by doing that. And then the third thing is what you're talking about. Do you guys, is this particular piece of property, it sounds like it's a little bit unique. It's not just a track lot of some kind. It's a unique property that might be hard to replace later if you sold it. I mean, if you sold it, what I would do is go buy an existing home.
Okay.
If you're going to sell it, I would say, is there a house somewhere that we could look at that we can find without getting destroyed on price that we would like as much or more than we love the idea of building on this? Because it's just a very difficult time to build right now. Very difficult.
Right.
So is this lot worth the hassle? Is this particular uniqueness of this worth the hassle to you? Because the least stressful path is sell it and buy a house.
Okay.
That doesn't have a lot of stress to it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
And even the waiting, it feels like to me, the waiting, if you were going to wait it out because you want to hold on to this property and see if the lumber prices go down and all that, even that feels so unknown. It's like when will that happen? Then you just feel like I don't know. I would feel like I was waiting
mind
forever.
doing that if you owned, but while you're sitting there renting, I'd be tempted to, and you're ready to get back in the market, you got out of the market, you're ready to get back in the market. I'm tempted to just go buy a house.
Yeah.
And just be done with it.
I have a friend that they're building right now, and they, locked in the contract, all the stuff. This was, I don't know, a month or two ago, several months ago, and the contractor just came back and said, we've never had to do this in 20 years in business, but we have to use the clause, the addendum that says we can increase the price based on the materials going up. We're so sorry, da-da-da. And she's like, how much? And she doesn't know. And it's such a stressful time. People think like, well, the real estate market's crazy, so I'll build. Building is not a less stressful route.
No, it's not. It's not building's hard.
Anyway. Yeah.
It'll strain your marriage anyway. But on top of that, it's just because, oh God, man. Yeah. But add to that then ever increasing prices and on a home, it's even worse because it's more emotional.
Yeah.
Like we're building a conference center up here on the hill. We're breaking ground on it next month. And, here on our, in the Ramsey complex or whatever you want to call it here, or whatever this is, campus. And, they just gave me the steel prices doubled. And that's got like millions of dollars. I mean, it's a lot of money. But I wasn't nearly as emotional about that as I would have been if it was my house. And it was, because it's like, my house,
Right.
And Sharon would be going, and all this stuff. So, yeah, it's just like, oh, crap, that sucks. But, so quickly buy the steel so we don't go up again on us. But yeah, it's the same thing, but it's more detached because it's a commercial deal. You're not living in it.
Yeah.
And still a lot of money, but it still pisses you off. But it's not as bad. It's something more emotional when it's your home, because part of building a house is just like a dream.
Right.
You're doing
right.
you don't build something you don't like. It's very unique to you. I'm customizing it. I'm picking the colors. I'm doing whatever, and maybe the floor plan and everything. And so part of that is that the emotion of that is just building a dream. And the danger is people think they're building their forever home, their dream home or something, and if it takes 12 months to build it, by the time you finish you have new dreams anyway. So it's you can never keep up. But yeah, it's a hard time emotionally to go through that right now. And there's a lot of those clauses like you're talking about are being activated for the first time in 20 years. And nobody ever thought about them being in a contract before. We just looked over and went, whatever. It's never, they're not gonna do that, and they never have.
Right.
But when something goes up a stinking 25-30%, they have to look at it, and they do look at it. And because, for instance, lumber is the largest item on your budget by far, the highest, of all the things in the components of the home. And then when it says 25% on that, that's like a stinking 10-15% on the whole house.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Right.
This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. This is the Ramsey Show. Louisa is in Charleston, South Carolina. Hi, Louisa. How are you?
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Our pleasure. How can we help?
All right. So here is my situation. I am sitting on, in my savings, about $110,000. That does not include my emergency fund. And at the end of the school year, I am resigning and I'm starting a new career totally. So I'm wondering what to do with that $110,000. Where should I invest it? So if I need that cash quickly to replace my salary, I can get it, but also I don't want it just sitting there, not appreciating. Which direction, which type of investment could do that for me?
Well, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going into real estate full time.
Mm-hmm. You already licensed?
I'm already licensed. I've dabbled, but the market is hot, and you have to have time to commit to that, and I don't with my current position.
Mm-hmm. In dabbling, have you sold any houses?
No. I've listed a few, and then no. That's the quick answer.
Did the listings not sell?
No, the people did not want to sell. They ended up changing their mind, and they wanted to buy an investment property, and so we're looking.
Okay. So you had one listing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hey, so you're starting really from scratch in the real estate business, having never really done a transaction.
Never, not once. Real estate is in my family, so I've been around it, but brand new.
You married?
I am.
What's your husband make?
He makes conservatively $52,000.
Can you guys live on that while you're getting started?
No. We would need about $8,000 more to be in the clear to break even.
$8,000? You don't make $8,000 now.
No. That would be just on his salary.
Just to live on.
But what we...
I'm sorry, $8,000 more than his income?
No, on top of his income, we would need $8,000 more.
In a year to live on. So you could live on, what'd you say? He makes 50?
A year?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yes,
okay.
Yes,
I was like, we're missing something here.
Okay. I thought a month.
Sorry, a year.
I thought a month.
No.
Well, we don't need to worry about a year because surely to God you're going to sell a house in a year. I'm worried about a month. So. Okay.
Do y'all combine your finances, Louisa?
We do.
Okay. Just checking there.
Okay. So.
We've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Daycare.
Okay. So you're a few $100s short a month of being able to cover it with his is all.
Yes.
Okay, $700, whatever, something like that. All right. Well, there's a couple things you can do. One is you can just leave it all sit there. It's not going to earn anything, and it is truly your backstop. But we need to budget out and say, okay, we're going to go 6 months with no income, and what are your real estate expenses? So you need $6,000 to cover that and your real estate expenses. So, I mean, if we set aside $20,000 and we leave it sitting there to make sure that you can supplement your household income, your husband's income, in order to cover until you get some coming in and cover some of your expenses, because you're going to have some expenses in the real estate business. Mm-hmm. Agreed?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've already paid for most of those.
Yeah, but you're going to have ongoing expenses every month that you haven't calculated in your household budget here. So I'm going to set 20 of the 100 aside, and I'm going to put the other 80 in a no-load mutual fund, no commission mutual fund. I use for stuff like this an S&P 500 fund, an index fund, because there's no commission coming out, so you put it in there. The only downside is if the market goes down before you pull it back out.
Right.
And it could. And so if you take that $80,000 and put it in there and you lose $8,000, is that going to kill you? No. Probably piss you off, but it ain't going to kill you.
Is there anything we should watch out for?
Well, I mean, if you buy an S&P 500 fund, it's going to do exactly what the stock market does. And the number of times the stock market goes down 10% in a year and does it consistently year after year after year is almost zero. So it does go down, does go up, does go down, does go up. But the time, and 10% of $80,000 is $8,000. So really you're putting, $8,000 or $10,000 at risk for the hope of making more than $8,000 or $10,000 a year on this money instead of letting you sit there at 1%.
Right.
That's your trade-off.
Okay.
And you've got your other money sitting over here to do your transition with.
Right.
So
this gives you an opportunity to do both. This gives you an opportunity to make some money on the majority of that savings you're talking about and still have some backup for this in between while you're working on getting your real estate business going. It's a little bit of, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and then just keep the pressure on yourself to get some dadgum transactions going. And once you get the rhythm of the transactions going, then you have a steady, more predictable income based on your performance, not based on the fact that it's a guarantee, because it's never a guarantee. But if you say, all right, I think I'm going to make $50,000 to $100,000 a year. I'm pretty comfortable doing this. I'm transaction. Then you take this money and you apply it wherever you are on the baby steps. You cash it out of that mutual fund, and any money you didn't use in your little cushion fund that's over and above your emergency fund, we take all that cash and we throw it wherever you're on the baby steps, which would probably be baby step 6 in paying off your house early, unless your home is paid for. We didn't get that far, but that's what I would look at. Andrew's in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Hey, Dave, 2 calls from South Carolina back to back.
There we go.
I've got a HSA account through my employer. And every year they contribute $300 after we complete some steps as employees. I'd like to take the money from my HSA, though, about $4,500, and put it into a health savings brokerage account. What is the best way to do that without triggering all kinds of extra suspicion from the IRS?
We endorse a company, and I use them personally, called Health Equity, that does just exactly that. And they handle all of our HSAs here at Ramsey. I've got my personal HSA in there. Look those guys up. And there's no triggering. It's not a problem at all. It's a very standard transaction. It's not an audit flag or anything like that. And mine are invested in good mutual funds. I started an HSA when George Bush first put them in place 1,000 years ago. And I've done them every single year, and I've never taken a dime out. And so it's in there growing, completely tax-deferred, tax-free. And guess what? It basically is an additional retirement account for me because I don't use it.
So moving money from one, because my employer only contributes to their preferred bank, but moving money from that bank to, for example, Health Equity Solutions is not gonna be any issues there?
No, we've never seen it do that, no. I don't have any reason to believe it would. It would be like just rolling over an IRA or something. That doesn't trigger an audit. It doesn't. It's not a suspicious thing because it's just very often done where people have large amounts of money. I mean, my HSA's got several $100,000s in it now, and because I've fully funded every year to keep the government's hands off the taxes, and then I'd never use it. Whatever medical we've had out of pocket, we just paid it, and I'd rather have that money sitting there growing with no taxes or tax deferred on it. And so that's, again, and I picked just good mutual funds in that, just like I did in a 401k or a Roth IRA. Are you using the HSA here?
Mm-hmm. And we do the same way. We just pay medical out of pocket and just let it grow.
Yeah. And you've got Health Equity, of course, as well. Mm-hmm. So you can pick mutual funds with it. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Mm-hmm. Same exact thing. Very good. Yeah. So the HSA, the savings portion of the health savings account is what we're discussing here. The insurance portion is basically a high deductible health insurance plan that gives you a much cheaper premium. And you can not fund the savings account if you're not in a position to. But once you're in a position to, you can fund it and use it, or you can do like we're talking about and take it as yet an additional tax-sheltered investment account. Very good stuff. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. Our thanks to James Childs, our producer, Kelly Daniel, our associate producer and phone screener. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host, and we'll be back.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Allison is with us in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi, Allison. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm good. Honestly, I'm nervous and also overwhelmed. My husband and I, we just started Financial Peace University about 2 weeks ago. So we just got done with step 1. We're working on step 2. I've done 2 plusectomies today.
Good.
And our class is moving on to step 3, but we still have some things to work on in 2 as well. We have about $30,000 in debt, non-mortgage debt. We have 3 kids, and our annual income is just over $88,000. Me being overwhelmed, what's a reasonable time frame for the snowball?
Well, I just use big numbers. There's a lot of ways to look at it. You're in Ramsey Plus. You can jump in there. There's a snowball calculator in there that'll help you run it out. And so, you know, that's the nerdy, detailed way to do it. But the way I look at it is 88 minus 30 is 58. You ought to be able to live on 58.
Okay.
Which means 1 year.
Okay.
But that's how I do it. I mean, it was just a big number. That means $2,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Which you're just getting started, so that's probably like, oh my God, no! You know. So, I mean, you haven't gotten that far in yet. You might, and I'm saying you'd have to average that. You might start out with less because you're just getting started. You just cut up the credit cards today. And so you're not in freak mode yet. When you get into freak beast mode and you start cutting this down, cutting your lifestyle to nothing because you're completely obsessed with getting out of debt, you can do $30,000 on 88 in a year. It leaves you 58. It leaves you 58. But you're gonna have adjusted a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you're not going out to eat. You're not going on vacation. We've cleaned out all savings that's not retirement and thrown it at the debt. We've chopped up every credit card. We're on a detailed budget. We've sold so much stuff the kids think they're next. I mean, we're just you're going to be in beast mode. You follow me?
Yeah, absolutely. Selling things is actually on my list to do. I've started posting some things already to help with that. Step 3.
Yeah. So what's the $30,000? What kind of debt?
Well, a lot of it's credit cards, and then it's also truck payment. I'm looking.
How much you owe on the truck?
Loan, a little over 13.
Okay, so that's half of it.
Yeah, and then we just moved into a new house, so that's new to us. It's about $1,000. Of course, that's not included, but we still own the last place, and you know, we have been talking, and we're just not sure whether we're going to dump money in to rent it out.
No, sell it.
Sell it.
I was waiting. I was like, as soon as you're done with this, he's going to tell you to sell that house.
And see, that's the thing too, because we want the seller to take it off the lot too. Because we're keeping the actual property as it was just handed over by his grandpa who passed away. And, you know, the rest is credit cards.
The buyer.
Yeah.
This is a trailer.
Yep. It's a single wide manufactured home.
Yeah, it's a trailer.
Yeah.
And so what do you owe on it?
Nothing. We actually
Awesome. What will it sell for?
Yeah.
What will it sell for?
That we don't know, because I mean the inside does need some work, but we're hoping.
Give me a guess. 10 grand.
I would say maybe 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, great. Now we only got to pay off $20,000.
Right. And
guess what that trailer is going to be worth in 5 years?
Probably nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
so why are we keeping something that's going down in value? Take your $10,000, get out of debt, sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
But yeah.
Don't fix it up. It's not a fixer-upper. It's a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Sell it.
I will make sure to do that because my husband's listened to you for a while. We just never acted upon it until recently, and we're trying to get our life back.
I'm glad you are. I'm so proud of you. You got a lot of balls in the air. You really do. I mean, you got a lot of. You cut up your credit cards. You're selling stuff, and now I sold your trailer. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on, right?
You didn't know when you called all this is going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what you do. You know, because here's the thing. It's like you're going down the interstate, and you realize because GPS goes off that you passed the exit. You missed your turn. So now you are going 75 miles an hour in the wrong direction.
Yes.
The first thing you do is you get off the interstate. Now you're going 0 miles an hour in the wrong direction, but 0 miles an hour in the right direction. You go under the ramp, under the bridge, get back up on the ramp, and go back 75 miles an hour in the right direction. This is 150 miles per hour change. This is what you're doing. So it's going to give you whiplash.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's going to shock your nervous system in a wonderful way. If this doesn't feel like a little like what, then there's something wrong with you.
That's to be talked about on another day.
We'll have to wait on Dr. John to be here.
Wait till Deloney's back.
Wait till Deloney's back on. We'll talk about your mental illness. But you know, it's normal to shock the nervous system when you say, "Oh my gosh," you know. I had a friend of mine who's a health nut, and he works out all the time. And he decided that he'd kind of kicked it off, and he wasn't eating right. And he decided he's going to go all healthy. And so he's detoxing. So it's like he's got the flu.
Yeah.
He's like he's drag butting around. Yeah. Got his little lip stuck out, like he's got the flu. But in a week, whenever, 2 weeks for this to break out, his diet to change back to healthy eating, then he'll have more energy. He knows that, but his body's going through this shock of change.
I've never heard you give that interstate example. That's a great visual. That's a great, because even the speed you're talking about, like when you're very first getting started, it's slow, and then you start picking up speed. Like that's a great visual.
Yeah, but every mile per hour in the right direction is on top of the 75 miles an hour that you were going in the wrong direction.
Right.
So it's a big change.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a real thing. But it's normal for the human system to go, oh my God, for 10 years, I've been eating everything in sight, and all of a sudden I'm going to change my eating habits. And of course your body's going to react to that.
It's going to freak out.
It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing with your money. It's the same thing with your career. If you decide, like, I've always just kind of been a jerk at work, and I'm going to go to work and smile and actually work hard, it's going to shock everybody. They're not going to know how to act. They're going, who are you? And what have you done with that other guy? It's the same thing. So yeah, just shock it. Do it, baby. Get it up. Let's go. You got this.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Dave Ramsey. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Have you ever asked questions like, how much should I be saving, or how much debt can I pay off? How fast can I get out of debt? When's the right way to invest? What's the right way to invest? Here's the good news. You don't have to figure out the answers on your own. Ramsey Plus will guide you every step of the way. All the details of the baby steps, exactly how to do them, when to do them, how to do them. The community is there. The coaches are there to help you. With the Ramsey Plus membership, you get all the digital teaching you really need, including Financial Peace University, so you can be confident that you're always doing the next right thing. Plus our world-class budgeting app, Every Dollar, all our tools, our guided action steps help you make progress on your money goals fast, and that means no more debt. Cash in the bank for emergencies, and a real plan for your future. Ramsey Plus helps you get small, consistent wins every day that lead to big results and lifelong habits. To get started today with a free trial, text TRIAL to 33789. That's TRIAL to 33789. Rick is in Saginaw, Michigan. Hey, Rick, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Dave, my heart's racing. I've waited for so long to talk to you.
We're glad you're here. What's going on?
Yeah, we've never lost a patient. You'll be okay.
No, it's racing because I'm happy. I'm excited. I want to thank you to start off. Just you guys have changed my wife and I's life so much. We went from massively in debt to completely debt-free, deep into step 6 now. And because of that, she's able to stay home with our baby. So
Yay!
It's amazing.
Way to go.
Yeah, it's amazing. I really appreciate it. Now, my question arises from something that I was doing, which is part of what you suggest. And I've never heard of this happening before until it happened to us. And now I Googled the problem, and I found a couple here and there that happened, but it's rare. So I wanted to get your take on it. She worked for a large regional bank that had a Roth 401k option, which we took full advantage of as soon as you explained what that was. And we were really pounding it at that full 15% plus their match, which went into a separate standard 401k that she had there. And as of her leaving, we called up Fidelity and went to open a Roth or a rollover account, right, through Fidelity's instructions, and that she was handling it because it's her account. And she followed Fidelity's instructions to a T, but I mean, the Holy Ghost is kind of punching me in the gut the whole time, telling me, pay attention, pay more attention, because I'm kind of the nerd in the family. What I found out happened after they did it was that they rolled both of the checks that was sent to them by the regional bank she worked for into one rollover IRA. So now our Roth money is trapped. Yes, our Roth money's trapped, and yes. Into
what year did that happen?
It happened 2 weeks ago, and I realized it as I was funding the funds in accordance to your suggestions. You know, growth and income, all that good stuff. And I looked at her. It was 11 p.m. at night, and I said, "Honey, there's only one account number here, and we've got Roth money mixed with regular."
Yeah.
So the
good news is there's no tax implication if you undo it in the same calendar year. So get with a SmartVestor Pro instead of Fidelity Online, for God's sakes. And,
right.
Yeah, sit down with a SmartVestor Pro. They can fix this for you.
Now we're in talks with them, and here's my question. According to them, they can choose whether or not they can just undo it for us.
Yeah.
So they're saying that if they don't choose to do it, that they would try to, it would bill us the penalties and taxes and whatnot of an early withdrawal.
Yeah, they need to. No, it's not an early withdrawal. No, because I don't think so. But to start with, I'm going to get online with Fidelity and just have them reverse the thing. That's what we've got in the works. Yeah, they made a clerical error, and that solves everything. If they don't do it, I still think you've got a case here to make. But
that's what I'm wondering. If they don't do it, do I need to contact a lawyer or something, or just tax advisor?
I think your tax advisor, because I think this can be undone. But make sure you handle it in this calendar year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's scaring the heck out of me because it's like $30,000 of Roth money that they dumped into this account.
Yeah. And all of a sudden
and
now
she's
it's
a young woman, so that tax-free growth was going to be huge by the time 30 years from now.
Yeah, and it's all taxable now. Yeah, so that's not good. So Fidelity will fix it. Fidelity's not they're not uncaring, they're just huge.
Yes, and I made sure because it was a recorded phone call, I was like, just take this down, please. My wife is not an investment professional. When you guys saw 2 checks come in from one account, you should have had a red flag go up that said, hey, wait a minute. Some of this is probably Roth, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's just, again, they're not, it matters to you. They're so big, it doesn't matter to them. And that's why you use something like a SmartVestor Pro to do these things instead of just an online thing like a Fidelity. Fidelity's not a bad company. They're fine. They're just, this was just, inept is what it amounted to. Probably, yeah. Anyway, but I think your SmartVestor Pro, it can guide you through this if Fidelity doesn't. But I think they're going to be able to reverse it. It's a clerical thing. The problem will really be compounded if you let it go over a calendar year. But you're not going to do that. You're obviously game on. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, this is what he said there is very interesting. He said, I had a sense. I had the Holy Spirit. I had a sense that. And man, when that bell rings, you need to answer the bell every time in your life, whatever it is. How many times have we all done something? We go, I had a feeling. Oh, God.
Every time I haven't listened to it, I've regretted it. Every single time.
Act on the feeling.
Yep.
Denise is with us in Atlanta. Hi, Denise. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Good. We have been following you for 10 years, so I just want to thank you so much. I love listening to you. Just great advice every day.
Well, thank you.
I've got a question. My husband and I, I'm 57. He is 61, turning 62 this year. So we're starting to think about retirement. We are considering a move, and I just wanted to run numbers by you because the last thing that we want to do is make a mistake and add stress into our lives. We have roughly $2.65 million in 401ks and Roths.
Way to go.
Thank you. We've got about $335,000 sitting in cash. 100 of that is an e-fund and not touchable. About 50,000 in stock options that are coming due over the next couple of years. No debt. And we're currently saving about 40 to 50,000 in cash a year, plus contributing to the 401ks and the Roths as well.
Awesome.
We have a home that's paid for worth about $650,000 is what our real estate agent is telling us. Mm-hmm. And we are looking at a home, not a larger home, but a home on a little more land for it's around 1.2. Mm-hmm. He will probably retire in the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. I will be a little bit after that. I love what I do. Probably 5 to 6 more years. And we just don't know if we should wait until we get to retirement, kind of look at the numbers and see how much cash we've got to make that move, or if it's wise to do that now.
So you can't quite pay cash for it because your money's tied up in a retirement account, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as you're ready to cash out some of the retirement when you get to 59 and a half and finish paying it off, obviously you can afford it. You're multimillionaires. Well done. Very good. If you don't mind carrying that little bit of debt for a little while to keep from cashing out retirement, then it fits with our guidelines. If you hate debt, then that means you're going to have to wait. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. This is the Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Joshua and Logan are with us. Hey guys, how are you?
Hey Dave, we're
doing
good.
Great.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Orlando, Florida.
Awesome. Welcome to Nashville. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
$103,056.
All right. How long did this take?
26 months.
Good. And your range of income during that time?
We started at 75 and went to 150.
All right.
Cool.
Doubled it.
Doubled it.
Awesome.
Doubled it. So what kind of debt was the 103,000?
All my student loans.
All you. What's
Yep.
your degree in?
I'm a physician assistant. I work in open heart surgery.
Very
Wow.
good. PA, huh? Good.
Yeah,
Good
cool.
for you. So how long you been out of school?
3 years now.
Okay. How long y'all been married?
5 years.
On Friday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So what happened 2 years ago, approximately, that got you on this, that lit this fuse?
I came home one day from work, and I like to listen to the Ben Shapiro show, and I heard you on the show, and so I picked up your podcast, listened to it for a few days, and I came home and said, hey, babe, we should try it out.
And then I started listening to the podcast, and I fell in love with the plan. I felt like that's really what we needed. We just needed a plan. Like we knew we didn't like the debt. We wanted to pay it off. We were trying to decide 5 years, 10 years, whatever. And then when we heard your plan, we're like, this is perfect because we're type A people. We're systematic. If we have 1, 2, 3, we can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah. Good old Ben. I was with Ben just a few nights ago. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. Who knew that I would end up on being on his show? Ended up leading the. It's usually awesome.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very cool. I love it. So, wow, very good. So tell us what you did.
I graduated from nursing school, and we just started working.
Yep.
Working overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the income doubled.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, originally we thought we'd, get out of debt in like 4 years, and then when COVID hit, we were able to pick up double overtime work as much as possible, and then he got his RN license during this. So when he started working as an RN, we started making a lot more too. So.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that increase. Yeah, that's a good increase.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's
wow.
awesome.
Very excited.
How's it feel?
Amazing.
Quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to all your friends who are just languishing in it, right?
Yeah.
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 You're like,
sure.
ah! Yeah.
They don't get it. They don't
Yeah.
get it.
Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
Our family, our parents on both sides, helped us through a lot, supported us.
They believed you could do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
In addition to the plan, what do you think is the biggest principle or takeaway that if someone was listening right now, they're like, okay, I've got the plan. What got you through it? What was the key to getting out of debt?
I would say it was just discipline, honestly.
Yeah.
Is day in and day out, chipping away at it.
Yeah. Saying no to stuff.
Yeah, going to work, coming home.
Yeah.
Just day in and day out.
Yeah. For me, listening to the show every day helped me to stay encouraged and listening to screams. I told Josh, after the first couple episodes, I was like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And so for me, listening to Debt Free Screams was really encouraging, but just that daily reminder of why we're doing it.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
That's so good. It's so hard to stay motivated when you're in a marathon, and you're in a marathon when you're paying off debt most often. And in the beginning you're excited, it's new, you've got all this gusto, and then 6 months in, a year in, you start to go, okay, this is hard. We're still having to make sacrifices. We're still working overtime. But that's so true. Just staying motivated, keeping your motivation up. It's good.
Yeah, but the good news is out of the scope of your life, 26 months isn't much.
That's right.
Yeah, and now you're free forever.
That's right.
Yep,
free forever.
absolutely.
Wow. Well done, you guys. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
What
you.
a great job. So people made fun of you. What did they say?
Mostly our friends, I met a lot of men who are like 28, a little bit older than me, kind of more established in their fields, making fun of me paying off debt instead of investing or saving for retirement.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they're trying to be intellectual about their fund making.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then my coworkers would say,
and they're broke. Yeah.
My coworkers said things like, "Oh, when you have kids, you'll never be out of debt. Like you can get debt free now, but you won't stay that way."
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Will you go back in debt?
No.
No.
Absolutely
You just wait.
not.
They're gonna come
wrong.
They're gonna come back around and be like, so anyway, that plan. Can you give me that plan? Can you teach me how to
by
do
the way,
what you did?
that thing I made fun of. Would you tell me about that?
Right, help me. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, very good, you guys. So proud of you. Excellent job. Well done, well done. Well, we've got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That is the next chapter for you guys as you move through baby step 4 and on out through 6 and leave a legacy and build a legacy. Phenomenal. And an extra copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to pass along to one of those people who needs to be working the plan. There you go. That'll work. Pay it forward kind of stuff. So very well done, you guys. Very, very well done. All right, Joshua and Logan, Orlando, Florida. $103,000 paid off in 26 months, making 75 to 150. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
This is how it's done. Yes.
That's awesome.
So well done.
I love how last year, in the year of COVID, they doubled down. They took overtime. I mean, the nature of what they do, it was, easier to do that. But, man, they made the most of that. They actually kicked it into gear in a really hard year.
There's a weird statistic we just found in this study we just did, surveying thousands of people. Ramsey Research just did it. That 23%, when they asked, are you better off this year than last year, 23% said, no, I'm worse off. 30% said, I'm better off than I was a year ago.
Wow.
After COVID.
Yeah.
But what we find is when we get down into those numbers, it's, it has to do with their attitude on how they approach it. And so, there's people in the medical field who had the worst year of their lives because all elective surgery was shut down. They backed away. They did nothing. They didn't work. And in some cases couldn't work. But then other times, like these two, they took advantage of it. They said, hey, there's lots of overtime available.
Right.
Lots of people needing our help. And so they dove into it. And the most dramatic was a nurse that did her debt-free scream a couple of weeks ago. Apparently she called in right in the middle of the quarantine, and she said, Dave, you fussed at me. I can't imagine that happening.
I find that hard to believe.
Can't imagine that happening. But she had $265,000 in student loan debt. Single lady, and she was talking about how she couldn't work, and I'm like, you can't work. It's COVID. They need nurses everywhere right now.
Right.
She did travel nursing and went from New York to Chicago to Atlanta to New York to Chicago to Atlanta. 80 hours a week, made $500,000 last year.
No.
And paid it all off in 1 year. Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
That's what you're talking about, though. She stepped into it.
That's right.
Rather than back from it.
That's right.
She saw the problem as an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, last year,
after I said you need to get off your butt, but yeah,
after you fussed at her, we had Academy open enrollment last spring. You remember this, and there was a ton of women that came into my coaching group. We worked through several workshops specifically on pivoting, adapting, seizing the opportunity. And there are women in my coaching group that made more last year than they've ever made before in their businesses because they did the same thing. And it has to do with attitude, not necessarily opportunity, not even the type of business they were in, but the attitude and the willingness to go for it, double down, and find new ways to do stuff.
Now, because, if you were in the service industry, last year you got screwed. Because your government shut your company down and put them out of business. All the maids doing hotels, all gone. All the servers, gone.
Yeah.
All the cooks and the chefs, gone. And for a period of time anyway, and depending on some states, they're still gone.
Right.
Some cities are still nuttier than a fruit cake. It was easier to flatten the curve on the COVID than it was flatten the curve on the stupid. It was unbelievable, man. It's still going. And so, and these people are out of work, man.
Yeah.
And they're struggling. And it's that's the 23% that said. And it breaks my heart for them because these are the people that couldn't afford it.
And there was
they're the
something they could
hardest
do.
working people on the dadgum planet.
That's right.
And so if you're still sitting around waiting on your restaurant to open, you don't need to. You need to go do something else.
That's right.
You need to step into this and go kill something.
Mm-hmm.
There's something needs to happen here. You need to go bust something in the nose, baby. And that's what these people have done that have been successful. It's very, very interesting. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture today, Isaiah 54:17, when God is for you, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Helen Keller said, optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Julie is with us in Los Angeles. Hi, Julie. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and Christy. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I have a question. I am paid on Mondays on a bi-weekly basis, so I normally get 2 paychecks a month. But this month, I will be receiving 3 paychecks rather than the normal 2 paychecks because there are 5 Mondays in the month.
Always happens.
So my question is,
happens every year.
How to budget during a 3 paycheck month? What do I do with the 3rd paycheck?
You're doing your budget wrong. You should do a unique budget every single month. And your budget for the principle for doing a budget for a given month is you figure out what your income is for that month and you spend that income on paper that month.
So it's not per paycheck, Julie, it's per month. Does that make sense? So like you have your monthly expenses.
No, you're trying to do a template where you use the same template for every single month. And it's not, every month is different. They're not substantially different, but every month is different. And so quit trying to do a template that works for every single month. Just say, this month, how much money have I got coming in? I've got to give every one of those dollars an assignment.
Okay, so I look at it as the 3 paychecks for this month, so I have a larger income for this month.
Exactly.
And then again, I'll just allocate everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're running your household where you're existing on a 2 paycheck month, this ends up being the same as a bonus.
And then you can put all that extra to whatever baby step you're on.
Exactly.
If it's your debt, it's your debt. If it's your emergency fund, whatever that looks like for you.
You got
so
two.
It's a great thing.
You have 2 of these magic months a year when you're paid biweekly.
Okay.
It happens twice a year because you get paid. 26 times you get paid instead of 24 times. So it happens 2 times a year.
Okay, so it's not a matter of rolling over that 3rd paycheck or something like that. It will apply to the month of May, and then I just allocate my line items, which would
not as long as you're able to live on the income that is 2 paychecks represents, which I suspect you are.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just the same exact thing as said if the boss came in and said, "Hey, I'm going to give you a bonus." Well, you wouldn't go, what do I do with that? No, you just give every one of those dollars a name and you use it for the baby step you're on. You're on baby step 2. You're doing the debt snowball. It's the next debt down. It's going to get all the money and you're going to throw it at it and you're going to keep rolling. And so it's like you get a bonus check twice a year. That's really what it amounts to. If you've set yourself up to where you can live on the 2 checks, which it sounds like you have. So good job. But that's a normal thing that happens to a lot of people budgeting. So it's a really good question to bring up. Yeah. Jorge is with us in Reno, Nevada. Hi, Jorge. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
All right. Hi. Yes, I have a question. So I recently I just got divorced, and I'm 30. I make about $50,000 a year, and I am currently $24,000 in debt. I just started doing your baby steps, and I'm on step number 2. My question is, I have $5,000 in credit card debt, $4,000 in lawyer's fee, $2,680 in back child support, and I owe $10,000 on a car payment. So I'm trying to figure out which should I tackle first, the back child support, the credit card, or the lawyer.
We normally would tell you to list your debts smallest to largest, pay minimum payments on those. Are you paying payments to your lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. Then list your debts smallest to largest, pay minimum payments on everything but the little one, and attack the little one. The only thing I move ahead of that order is IRS or child support, because taking care of your children is a primary goal of dads and moms.
I agree.
And so it just so happens your child support arrearage is also your smallest debt. So so for 2 reasons, it's number 1. But if it were not your smallest debt, I still would move it to the front, because it is not a debt; it's an obligation. I mean, it's a different kind of a thing morally, and so. And the IRS has such high penalties and interest, I would move it up there too, and they've got unlimited power. So those are the only 2 I cheat on the debt snowball. Everything else, regardless of interest rate, I just leave them in that order. And so, you're going to pay minimum payments on your credit cards, minimum payment on your car, minimum payment to that lawyer, knock this $2,600 out. But you ought to do that in less than 2 months, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a month and a half.
Yeah, so as soon as you're caught up on that, then you're going to start really chunking on that lawyer and getting rid of him. That's going to be 2 wonderful things to have in your rearview mirror. Agreed?
I strongly agree.
Yeah, and then you can start attacking those credit cards. How many different credit cards are there?
It's just one. I took it out to put for a down payment for the lawyer.
Oh, good Lord! This is all lawyer except the car. Then it's all about the divorce except the car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm sorry. How long were you guys married?
We were married for about a year and a half.
Oh, my goodness. How many kids do you have?
Yeah.
1?
Just 1.
Yeah.
Just 1.
Wow. What a heartbreak.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you got $9,000 worth of lawyer here, huh? Ouch.
Yeah. It was supposed to be cheaper. Unfortunately, the divorce itself was perfectly fine, but the custody for my son was what caused us the most headache. Luckily, I mean, the lawyer's like, you know what, I'll just give you a discount. Just pay me $4,000 and that's it. We'll call it even.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay, you got it done. And so, yeah, you're going to plow through both of those really quick, all of this really quick, because now you got one job and you're not distracted anymore with all this other drama.
And you're going to feel such freedom financially when you get these debts, especially all the non-car debts behind you, not just from the financial standpoint, but from the emotional standpoint, not having to pay on that memory and that pain. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're going to feel such freedom on the other side of this.
How old are you?
And you can get through it.
Yep. I'm 30.
Okay.
Just turned 30.
All right, yeah. So good news is you're getting a fresh start at 30, huh?
Yes, yes, I am. I'll try not to make the same mistakes again, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, me too. I understand. Wow. Ouch. That's no fun at all. So the debt snowball, in this case, it actually laid out perfectly, oddly enough. But the idea of the sense of traction you get of knocking a debt out is a big deal.
Yeah.
It just really sets you free. And you get this emotional momentum when you pay off one that leads you straight to the next one.
Yes, and the momentum is that's right. The momentum propels you forward. And people always argue on the interest rate, but when you get that smallest debt by balance paid off, the motivation, you get more and more fired up to attack the second one and then the third one and so on. It's so much more about motivation and momentum than math and the interest rates. And so it's amazing to see the success. And the research shows this, that people stick with the plan when they see the progress and have the momentum from doing it this way.
Yeah. And what's weird is it even adds more momentum when it's a debt associated with something that you hate.
Yeah, the pain associated
with
that.
Like get the lawyer behind me, get this child support behind me, get that's an extra level of momentum, emotional momentum, and freedom.
That's right.
It sets you free to move on to the next thing. That's a big deal, you guys. It really is. And that's sometimes when I'm doing a debt-free screen with people, I ask them, what's that one debt you paid off that you just hate those people? Because there's something about that drives you.
Yes.
It's like, I want you people out of my life forever.
Yes.
I can go back and name them in detail, and it was 35 years ago.
Yes.
It's just like, oh my gosh, I hate you people.
Yes.
I'll never be in debt to American Express again.
Yeah.
I hate American Express. Oh, hate them. Yeah, it's that exact situation. So. Good show, Christy.
That was great.
Good job. Good job, James and Kelly in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there is ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.